Hey guys, what's up? Hermano here, welcome again to the channel. So before we get started to the video, I remind you about the last video I did where I was asking you feedback for the live stream in March. Just remind you that we want to do this on the 14th or 15th of March at 2 p.m. European time and 8 p.m. in the evening, always European time. Please let me know what you think about that. We hope there will be a lot of people joining us. It will be a fun tutorial to do this live one time. So in today's video, we are going to combine our Rsync videos we did before with the Crontab. So the Crontab is basically a scheduler in Linux where you can put in timers and run commands, for example, to back up your system or to back up some folders on an external drive or on an external server via SSH. So let's get started because there is a lot to cover. Well, the first thing you want to do is to make sure that Rsync is already installed. So to do this, let's pull up the terminal and I'll go here full screen and increase the font size. And I'll type in pacman -Q for query and then S for search. And I'll type in Rsync just to make sure that my Rsync is already installed. And yes, you can see in my system is already installed. If it's not installed in yours, you'll type in now sudo pacman-s rsync, hit enter, and you will install your package. Now, the next package we need to install is the crony package. That will enable us to have Crontab available in the system. So let's type in sudo pacman-S crony and hit enter. Enter the password. And I have already installed it, so it asks me to reinstall it. I'll just hit enter. And now we have crony installed. Now, to verify that this is working, let's type in shortly crontab-e. This basically is editing the Crontab in the system for this user. And as you can see now, there is a problem and we cannot access Crontab because it's configured to use V or Vim for the editor. So if you don't have V or Vim installed on your system and you want to use, for example, another editor like Nano, we need to tell the system to use Nano to edit the Crontab. So we have two commands for this. The first one is export visual, all capital, equal Nano, and hit enter. And the second one is export editor equal Nano, and hit enter. Now, bear in mind this export command is valid only for this session. So that means when you will have to close the terminal and open it again, you will have again the same problem. So to do this permanent, we need to add the editor line in the bash rc file. So let's type in nano, the tilde character, then / and then dot bash rc and hit enter. And let's go down to the last line here to the empty space and we'll type in now export editor equal, and then the path to the Nano editor. So in this case, it's going to be a single quote and then / user /bin / nano, and then a single quote again. We'll do the same for the visual. So we'll type in export visual equal, then again, a single quote /user /bin /nano, and single quote again, and then Control O and enter to save the file and Control X to exit the editor. And now one last thing is we have to reload the source of the bash rc. So we'll type in source ~key / dot bash rc and hit enter. Now, if we close the terminal and we pull it up again, I'll go again full screen here and increase the font size. And we'll type in crontab-e. You'll see it opens up directly in Nano. So this is where we will work in with the rsync command and the timers for the backup. However, before we do that, let's have a look at the structure of how Crontab works. So before we dive into Crontab on the terminal, let's have a look at the structure. So Crontab is based on two factors. One is the timer, which will be on the left side of the command, and then the command itself, which will be on the right side. So let's explore first the timer. The timer is composed of 5 points. The first one is the minutes. The second one is the hours. Then we have the day of the month. Then we have the month itself. And last but not least, we have also the day of the week. So you can input these parameters in the terminal as following. Minutes will be put in as 0 to 59. Hours will be put in from 0 to 23, so standard military time. Day of the month will be put in from 1 to 31. The month input will be 1 to 12. And as for the day of the week, we have two choices. We can put in 0 to 6 or Sunday through Saturday with the respective abbreviation. So let's make a concrete example here on the timer. So let's say, for example, that we put 30 minutes for the minutes and we put 17 for the hour. So this is basically means 5:30 p.m. We add for the day of the month a 1, and for the month itself and the day of the week, we add one asterisk. So this timer basically means run the command at 5:30 p.m. on the first day of any month at any day, as the asterisk stands for any. So this is a very simple example on how to structure the timer. Now we have also some operators for the timer. Let's have a quick look at them. We have, for example, the possibility to add a comma. For example, if we had to the minutes 15 and 30, that means the command following this timer will run every 15 and 30 minutes at the first 15 and half an hour of the hour. We have also the range, which is defined by the dash. And in this example, it will mean basically we run the command every minute between the 15 and the half an hour of every day of the month, of every month, any day of the week. We have also a last one which we can explore, which is the /, which means every. So in this example, it means the command following this timer will be run every 5 minutes. So let's move to the command now. So a typical command in the terminal with rsync would be something like this. We saw this in the previous video, but I'll just recapitulate quickly. We have, for example, rsync and then the dash with the switches. So we have the dash A, which is the archive switch plus recursive and holds all the permissions. We have the V, which is for verbose mode, which will output on the terminal what's happening. And then the ZZ, it's a compression switch. And then we have our source, and the destination might be your external drive or an SSH server. So this is a typical command that you would type in the terminal and would stand on the right side of the cron tab. Now, what if we, instead of a command in the terminal, we would have a command in a script? So basically, the command in the script, it works exactly the same way as the command in a terminal. As you can see, the command itself is the same. It's rsync dash the switches plus the source and the destination. But by just adding one line, we can transform this command in a script. And the reason why this is very important is because it makes the whole process in Crontab much cleaner. So the only line we need to add to this command, and we can do this in the terminal with an editor, but we'll go through this later, it's this line here. So the hashtag !bin /sh. So this transforms this command in a shell script. What does it mean? Well, let's have a look. For example, if we go theoretically in our cron tab, we can enter something like this in the terminal. So we have our timer on the left side. So as I said before, 30 is for the minutes, 17 is the hours, 1 it's the first day of the month, and the 2 asterisk represents any month and any day of the week. And then on the right side, we have our command. And this will be fairly simple to type in. The problem is if you have long commands and if you want to put maybe multiple commands, which you can concatenate with the ampersand, if once you want to log into Crontab and have a look at there, it might be quite messy. So it's better in this case to use a script. And the script will look like this. You basically have your timer, which is the same on the left side, and then you have the path to your script. So basically we create a script in an editor, we save it somewhere on our computer, and we tell here in the cron tab, run with this timer, the script in the path described here. Once we have done that, it's always best practice when you finish to write your timer and the command to put an hashtag on top of it and type your backup description. This is important just to know what the command below is doing. Otherwise, you'll end up having multiple timers with multiple commands and you don't know anymore what they do. The comments are just text. Of course, they are not going to be run, but it's just good practice to have a description on top so that you know what this backup is doing. So there's a last thing I'd like to show you, and that's the cron directories. In the system, we have several directories which are already created when you install the cron package. And those directories are all under the etc directory. So when you can see, there is cron.hourly, daily, and monthly. So basically, when you make one script, you can actually also move it into this directory and cron will take care of it. However, I'd like to actually show you how the cron tab works. So let's get to it and go back to the terminal. So now we are back in the terminal and let me explain what I want to do. So I'll open up here File Manager shortly. And you see I have here my downloads folder and in here I have 4 photos. So I want to actually back up these photos in my backup USB stick here, which is already attached on the computer. So I have my source, which is the downloads folder, and I need to know also my destination. Now, if I hover over my backup USB stick here, you see the path. So it's run media hermano backup. This is my destination, and I'll need to put this in the rsync command. So let me close up that window here, and we are now in my home directory. And if I type in ls, I have my usual folders here, downloads, music, and so on. So I want to create here a new folder where I will save my scripts. So I'll type in mkdir for make directory, and I'll just name my folder scripts, very simply. And now if we change directory and we go into scripts, we'll just type in cd, capital S and the tab key to autocomplete and hit enter. And now we are in the scripts folder. So if I type in ls, you see it's empty. So I want to create here a new script which will go into the Crontab later. And this script will basically back up my photos every minute in my USB stick. It's a very, very simple example. So how do we do this script? So we'll type in nano because we need to create a new file and then the name of the script. In this case, I'm just going to choose photos to keep it simple and hit enter. So first I need to tell the system this is a script. So to do this, as we saw before in the slides, we'll type in the hashtag, exclamation mark, then a forward slash, then bin, forward slash sh. Now we move down to the empty space, and now we can type in our rsync command. So again, rsync switches, source and destination. So rsync, my usual switches, so -a for archive. This, as I said in another video, also includes recursive, permissions, groups, ownerships. It's all saved into the backup. And then I have the V switch for verbose mode, which in this case I won't really need because it's done in Crontab. So I don't see actually the output on the terminal. So actually I don't need this. But I put in the ZZ because it compressed the file during the transfer. And then my source. So in my case, my source is under /home, /hermano, /downloads. And a forward slash again, because I want to make sure that the source is inside the folder, not the folder itself. And then my destination, which we saw before, was /run, /media, /hermano, and /backup. That's the name of the stick. And so this is the basic command. So I can now hit Ctrl O and enter to save the file, and Ctrl X to exit the editor. So I'll clean up the terminal. And now if I type in ls, you'll see we have our photos script there. We need to make this executable, and we need to do this because otherwise when we put the script in the cron tab, it will not execute. So to make it executable is very simple. We just need one simple command, which is chmod for change permissions plus x. X is the executable permission in Linux, and then the script name. So photos in my case, and then hit enter. Now we have our script here and we made it executable, so we could theoretically move it in one of the directories we saw before in the slides, the cron daily, hourly, and weekly, for example. And we could do this by changing directory there. And so let's type in cd/etc. And if we type ls, you'll see we have our directories there, cron.daily, cron hourly, monthly, and weekly. So if we would copy the script in one of this directory, then cron will take care of it. But I want to actually run it on a specific timer. So to do this, I'll type in crontab-e, and first thing I'll put in a description, so an hashtag, a space, and then the description is very simply photos backup every minute. And then I'll go down to empty space here and type 5 times the asterisk with a space between it. So you'll type in the asterisk 5 times with a space again, and then the path to our script. So in my case, it's /home, /hermano, /scripts. This is the folder we created before. And the script name is photos. So here we are basically saying we want to use this script at every minute of every hour of every day of the month, of every month, of every day of the week. So every minute, basically. And again, this is a very simple example to show you how the process works. Then when we are done here, we'll hit Ctrl O and enter to save the file, and Ctrl X to exit the editor. Now, if we go to our file manager and we go to our backup stick here, in a couple of seconds, it should be populated with the content of the downloads folder. And as you can see, it was populated in 1 minute. So basically this script now is going to run every minute. And if I would add another photo in the downloads folder, it's going to add just that photo in my backup hard drive here. So let me go back shortly to my Crontab here. And again, like we saw in the slides, we can modify this timer whichever way we want to. So for example, if we want to back up my photos at the first day of every month at a certain time, we can change this asterisk and we can say, for example, I want to back it up at the clock. In my case, let's say at 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. And this basically is going to back up my photos in my USB stick every day at 2 o'clock. If, for example, we're going to change this one and type in 1, again, the first day of every month at 2 o'clock, it's going to back up the photos in my downloads folder into my USB stick. We can add here also, for example, a comma 15. So basically this means at every first day and every 15th day of the month at 2 p.m., it's going to back up my photos from the downloads folder to my USB stick. If I would put here, for example, a 3, this is going to say that in March, on the 1st March and on the 15th of March, at 2 p.m., it's going to be backing up my photos in the downloads folder into my USB stick. So you get the sense a little bit how it works. You can practice with these. Once you get the hang of it, they are fairly simple and very, very powerful. So I encourage you to practice. And I encourage you also to use scripts for this instead of the commands, because it's much cleaner to have a cron tab with scripts rather than commands here. You can basically just change the timers. And if you need to change the commands, you can go into the scripts and it keeps things much cleaner here. You can imagine if you have a command which is much longer, everything looks a little bit messier. So this is a very simple way how to use a cron job with the script. Now, in the next video, we are going to also explore how to use the scripts with an SSH so that we can back up on an external server. But that's going to make it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see more, make sure again to like it by clicking the like button below and subscribe to the channel if you want to be notified of future videos. Subscriptions really helps us out, guys. And again, if there is anything specific you would like me to cover or you have any question, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon in the next one.